Welcome back to the Bach and Arthur podcast.
Woo, let's go.
Oh yeah, we're on episode 11, and today we're talking about the London Marathon, why human knees suck. It's a bit of foreshadowing for you. Billionaires going into outer space. How many humans it would take to kill a gorilla?
Ooh.
Which Arthur brought this up to me the other day and then wouldn't let me say anything about it, so I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, it was another classic. We're going to speak about this on the podcast. We were on an escalator. I brought it up and he looked really excited and I was like, don't say a word.
I just wanted to say something, just anything, and you just wouldn't let me.
I don't like it when he talks to me outside of the podcast.
No, that's
we
true.
Just hang out in silence.
Speaking of hanging out in silence, we were hanging out in silence the other day at our boys' dinner.
Oh yeah, boy dinner.
That's right.
So was it the last episode when I was like, it's my plan next. It's my dinner night next.
Yeah, I think you spoke about it.
So yeah, it was my time to plan the boys' dinner. Batch joined for his first time.
Yeah.
It was just me, George, Arthur, and Chris before that. And I took everyone to Madeira at the Treehouse, London, and went down quite well actually.
Yeah, they enjoyed it.
We it was almost quite lucky because we usually do dinners at like 8 o'clock. We're all late night owls. Chris less so actually now. He does more of a 9 to 5. But Arthur was like, "Can we just eat at like 6:30 instead?" And we were like, "You know what? For you, Arthur, anything."
Yeah.
And we went and it was perfect because it's quite high up in London. You get like a city skyline view in Oxford Circus area. And there was just a lovely sunset and it was just really nice. Oh yeah, pull up some photos. And it's lovely, like lots of greenery.
This feels like you're doing some kind of like club promotion right now.
Well, I'm gassing up my own
You're guessing
week,
your
really.
own choice.
Oh,
yeah.
it was epic. It was perfect. The food was nice. It was, what was it, Mexican?
Yeah, it was Mexican.
We had fajitas, nachos, all that kind of stuff. And there was a fire-breathing lady.
Yeah, she did breathe fire.
Mid-dinner. She just randomly came out and just started spitting fire and dancing.
That was the first fire breather we saw. We saw like 3 fire breathers that week.
Oh yeah, what was the other one?
A guy, and he was licking the rope. I was licking the rope like that.
Oh yeah,
Really weird.
yeah.
Like
Which we're
spitting shit
about
everywhere.
to come onto the trip to Prague with George Clarkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it went down quite well, and Chris and Arthur, who had a bit of stick for their ones, although they were good, actually were quite nice and respectful. Weren't slandering it too much, which is
it's a hard group to please. It is.
Yeah, it is.
I've never been in a group of friends where it's like they'll just call you out for picking a shit restaurant. They'll more just go, "Oh, it's all right," or whatever. But
Yeah.
you guys are like, "Oh, this is a stinker. This sucks."
I think it being naturally competitive, like us all picking one each and like us grading it, made each other want to cook
Yeah, there's
each other.
too much toxic masculinity in this group. There really is.
Yeah. So we did say we didn't want to end up scoring them because we didn't want it to be too competitive.
What I didn't know that you considered even scoring.
Chris, I think, was like, we should get an Excel spreadsheet and each rate it. And we were like, this is going to make it not enjoyable because we're going to start going like, oh, actually, the food wasn't that bad. And then it's
got to
your
take
fault.
Excel off him. He's getting a bit
I know.
out of hand with that.
So,
And
yeah.
George is next, right? George has picked the next one.
George is next. He is.
I wonder what he's going to take up.
We'll let you guys know how we got on.
So would you say yours is the best so far? I wasn't at the others.
As the most humble person in the group, I have to say yes. Yeah, no, I mean, I think Arthur's one, the food portions were quite small and we weren't taking the food, cool place, but the food portions. And then at the South African grill, it was just quite dry and a bit bland. Whereas I think this one, the food was good. There was nice entertainment and the place itself was really nice. So I thought it went well, but I was definitely quite anxious.
Were you?
Like in advance, just being like, because you don't want to get like a big group of, like for a monthly event and everyone just be like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like the food's mid, it comes out cold, the atmosphere's a bit dead.
But then aren't you happy that you've made them suffer a little bit?
No. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, me neither. I suppose.
But no, I mean, not as much as holidays. I mean, we're obviously it's coming up to summer. During the dinner, we were speaking about holiday plans and going like, oh, do we go here? Do we go here? Like start of they're tough ones because if you plan I've spoken about it on the pod ages ago, but when we went to Mallorca and I booked the Airbnb and the key was in the center and we were like an hour and a half out at like 11 p.m. on a Friday and the offices were shut. Did you know this?
No.
Maybe I haven't spoken about it on this
Hour and a half.
podcast because I spoke about it on Arthur's podcast because we were like, so I got cooked quite heavily for this. So we all booked this trip to Mallorca and we are like, I sort the Airbnb out. I pay for everything. I was like, I'll get the money back later, whatever. And I book. The plan was to go somewhere really quiet and chill, just for a few relaxing days off in the sun. Like probably don't even leave the Airbnb. Just like there was a pool, big garden, big house, all this kind of stuff. And I found the Airbnb and it was fine and stuff, and it looked good. And we rock up at Friday, like we land at like 7 p.m. We get this taxi there, and obviously part of the point was it was in the middle of nowhere, so it took us like an hour and a half to drive there. He drops us off, disappears, and I'm looking in the thing, and I'm like, oh, it's an Airbnb. There's no like check-in person. It's a lockbox, and so I've got the code, and I'm like, okay, where's this lockbox? We can't find it, and I'm like, what's going on? And I click on the thing, and it's like the lockbox is in the office in central Mallorca, an hour and a half away, and it's open 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. And so it's Friday night, and we're like, what the hell? We realize we can't get in. We can't call any taxis because no one's picking up. No one's out there. And it's in the middle of the night.
Oh my God.
And we are just like, what the hell do we do? And we walk for ages with our suitcases, end up in some random pub. And the pub guy goes, when our shift finishes at like 2 a.m., we'll drive you to the closest hotel like 20 minutes away for free, which was so nice.
Oh my God.
But obviously everyone was like fuming at me, and I was like, I probably should have checked it.
But also, why would you put a lockbox in the head office open 9 to 5?
That's what I said. When it's like self-check-in with a lockbox, I didn't think about it anymore.
No, the lockbox is usually on the house.
It's
like,
usually on the house and you get it out.
weird.
So everyone was like, you should have checked. And I was like, that does feel like something you wouldn't check more of.
Yeah.
And so we brought it up on Arthur's podcast, and his mum was like, I think that's bad from the Airbnb thing.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the Airbnb, when I spoke to customer services, were like, it's the homeowner in the wrong. And they gave us a full refund.
Oh,
quite
nice. So you didn't stay there at all?
We didn't stay there.
Hotel?
Well, we couldn't because we were leaving on like Monday night.
Oh, right.
And we couldn't get the
because
key
it was the
until
weekend,
Monday.
was it? Yeah,
it was the weekend.
course.
There was no one in the offices.
That's crazy.
So we were ringing up and there was no one picking up. And it wasn't until Monday that we were like, oh, I actually got the refund. But I was getting quite a lot of stick for it in the thing. And it was quite nice to have Airbnb being like, no, it's not your fault.
What was the hotel like that you ended up staying at?
So we ended up on the Magaluf Strip because it was the only place with it was middle of summer. It was last minute. The only place we could get a hotel was Magaluf Strip, and we ended up having a Magaluf holiday, and it was actually sick.
God,
it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
That's
and Chris,
crazy.
this was like me, Arthur, and George weren't that big at the time, but Chris was massive. So everyone was just like, we'd walk down the street, and there'd just be like 30 people following Chris.
Did he enjoy it, or was it?
It was really good fun because everyone was just like drunk in a really good mood. Like once everyone in each club had like said hello,
Yeah.
like after like 20 minutes of meet and greet for Chris,
Yeah.
we ended up clubbing and having a really good time. And it was a really fun holiday. The hotel we ended up staying at was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Had a crazy view of the beach. We did a lot of stuff in the day, like water sports, chilling on the beach. Went on nights out every night.
What do you think should be the cut-off age for places like that? Magaluf Strip.
Yeah, we would never have chosen to go there, and we'd never go back.
What would you call cut-off age?
Yeah, probably early mid-20s. I feel like once you're like 26, 27, it's like, like it's a bit. I mean, it depends because there's such a mix, and obviously like our group as well, we don't socialize that much in public.
Yeah.
Like fans will come and say hi, and that almost like maxes out our social battery, I find. So like when we are like going out to those clubs and stuff, we, outside of interacting with fans, just chill, just us. Like we go to the bars, we tend to like find tables to sit down at. But I definitely think when we went to Ibiza, that was much more like, there's quite a lot of people in their late 20s, like early 30s there. Obviously you get some people in their 40s and 50s. So like those strips and stuff are definitely like, kind of like, the type of places you'd go if you're finishing your A-levels or in your first year or two of uni. Yeah. Like when I went to Zante, I was in my second year of uni. And then I was like, oh, actually, like, I probably wouldn't come here after I finish uni because it's different vibes. But it was almost just like we didn't really have a choice. Like we were on our hotel was there. So we were like, oh, we might as well go out and see what it's like on the nights out. It was pretty fun. Like, do you think you'd go now? I mean, what are you, 24? You wouldn't enjoy it?
No. But I never would have gone. It was never my sort of thing to be.
You've never been a club person, have you?
No.
You said even like before you came to London, were you you would club twice?
Yeah, because the club, there was only one club you'd really go to near me, which was NB's, and it was not a nice place to be. So just never really, I'd much rather go to the pub And even now, I just think that's just my sort of vibe anyway. Like I prefer being able to speak to friends than in a loud environment.
Yeah, that's true. Like the Arthur's birthday.
He's pulling up NB's.
Pulling up what?
NB's is a crazy place. You'll get a bunch of 40-year-olds just sat around this fish tank, and then the rest is just probably like 16, 17-year-olds running around. Everyone in the smoking area. A lot of spikings happen there. Not a nice place.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad for it.
What is that back where you live?
Yeah, that's in Northampton. Yeah.
Right. Oh, so is that why you didn't really go? It was just like a bit of a.
Yeah, it was just I
that much
just didn't want to go there anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if I lived somewhere else, I might. But I think it was just more part of my personality that I didn't like clubbing anyway.
Yeah.
So I probably always would have been a pub person.
I liked Arthur's birthday when we went out for like a dinner, had a bunch of wine at the table, and then went to Bounce after, because Bounce is like halfway in between. It's like you get the club music, but you're also playing ping pong and like just having a bit of fun, and like you can stop and chat and like watch games and stuff rather than the clubs areas. But yeah, I guess obviously you just haven't had that period of clubbing when you haven't been well known. So now when you go to a club, you are just mobbed by people.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't really, I wouldn't go to my first choice isn't clubbing now because of the night that it would be. Like I know what would happen. Whereas pubs, a bit more chill.
Yeah.
Arthur Hill loves a pub as well. He's more of a pub enjoyer.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Do you prefer clubbing or pub?
No, I prefer pubs. But I
prefer pubs.
I quite like I love a good deep conversation. Like I love getting really stuck into that kind of stuff. And that's very like that really splits groups when we go to the pub.
Yeah.
So like if we go as a group of like 10 of us, like I feel like some of us really like those kind of conversations. Like Chris loves deep diving into that. You often do. Like you're quite happy with both. Whereas like some of the other lot will just be like, I'm not really. I want like lighter conversation. So I guess it really depends on who I'm with. Like if I'm with people that want to get drunk and like have like proper deep chats, I really like it.
Yeah.
But if it's like just like small talk, I'm not a small talk enjoyer really.
You're an expert at small talk. You're getting really
I don't
good at
understand it. It makes no sense.
No, you're getting really good at it. Oh, so have you ever had women childbearing hips, or is that not something
we
you've had?
can get onto that, but let's before we get onto the childbearing hips, should we quickly go to Prague?
Oh, let's hop to Prague if you want.
Because that was epic. This is the kind of stuff I really enjoy. This I prefer much to a lad's holiday.
Prague.
It was very cultural.
It was.
We
It was cultural. I don't want to give too much away because obviously the whole video, although I think George's video will probably be out before this.
Yeah.
But in case it isn't,
let's not do too many
we'll
spoilers.
just do surface level chat about it. But it was very cultural, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very cultural. We sort of had like a historical tour and found out some really like fascinating history.
Yeah.
We went to a church and listened to a classical performance.
Yeah. I say that went on a little too long, in my opinion.
Was it? It was only an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, an hour too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went to sort of like, we had sort of medieval experiences of
that was the best day of my
meat,
life.
potatoes and ale.
Yeah.
And it was just epic. It was really good fun.
The medieval thing, I really come into my own in a medieval environment.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Oh, yeah, like these types of things, medieval taverns.
Oh my God.
But that like, if someone says a choice between a holiday where like you're just getting over the hangover during the day and then just going out and getting battered in the evenings and having nights out, it's fun. But doing stuff like this where you're like walking around the town squares, going to medieval taverns, getting drunk on beer.
And that's the thing, like, yeah, we were still drinking a little bit, but it was way more like enjoyable drinking like, slowly across the day. And it was, they make good beer.
Yeah, they do.
Pilsner, isn't it? Because then we went to the beer place.
Oh yeah, we went to a beer making.
And that shit was creamy as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know what you put into that, but that was delicious.
Yeah.
You could have started a problem within me.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, no, it was fun. So keep an eye out on George Clarkey's channel for the Prague trip because it was very epic.
That was a lot of fun. I did really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Oh, the videos, of course.
Oh yeah, we so this was quite funny. When we were in the beer tavern thing, we put it on our stories. And so when we came out, there was just like 3 people waiting there. And we don't know whether it was just coincidence or whether they had seen the stories.
Oh, it wasn't 3 people. It was a whole team of dancers.
Well, they then summoned their team of, Yeah, I think like 15, 20 dancers.
Yeah,
came across.
crazy. Okay,
And
well,
they
by
got
the
to do a
time-
TikTok.
Yeah, because you came out slightly before me, so I didn't see the summoning. I just got out. And
Oh, you came out
everyone
to a
was
good
already
group.
there. I was like, damn.
Oh yeah, no. So it was the three. Do you remember? We went to a gift shop and bought some gifts.
And we saw. Yeah,
and we saw 2 or 3 girls, and they were like, "We're with Cardiff Uni dance team or something."
of course, yes.
And we were like, "Oh hey," and they were like, "Oh, you know, the other guys really wanted to see you, so hopefully we'll catch you around." And then when we came out of that, it was those 2 girls or 3 girls waiting again. And they were like, "I'm really sorry for what's about to happen." And I think they must have just told their mates, like,
No!
they're coming out now. And they
Yeah.
all just descended upon us.
Yeah,
But
3 of them had bow and arrows. It was crazy. They killed Arthur Hill.
they were really good vibes. They were very funny. They were just sort of all just like getting us to do little TikToks and were just very sweet. Just told us about their holiday, then went on their merry way.
Yeah.
And so did we.
Yeah, so did we.
And it was very funny. And they did really well. And they did that one for audio enjoyers. That's the caption was dapping up 10 out of 10s in Cardiff.
Yeah.
Not in Cardiff, in Prague.
In Prague, gift.
And they also wasn't dapping us up. They were fist
Oh,
bumping
you're a
us.
stickler for a dab, yeah. We didn't know the idea, by the way, before we filmed that.
Yeah, they were like, "Can we
wanna
just fist
bump you?" Yeah.
bump you?
Oh, do they know the Cardiff Italian Bach? Yes, it was this group who knew the Cardiff Italian Bach.
Some of them had met him.
Yes, some of them had met him.
Yeah.
And he's getting worse, apparently.
What do you mean?
Oh, he's getting worse. No, he's not really. I don't want to. No, I don't want to get him in trouble. No, he's.
He's selling crystal methamphetamine under the stairs at the clubs.
No, he's only running around on all fours. He's not walking anymore. It's really strange.
That
I
is
don't know
just
what's-
as you. That's what you do.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening to him. But no, he's about. No, I've heard that he's just out and about a bit more. I don't know if
They
that's true.
smite
That's
him
just word on the street.
Yeah.
Can they smite him down?
Oh, speaking of streets,
You
we were
belong
on-
to them.
we were on the streets of London yesterday
Were we?
for the London Marathon.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So everyone probably thinks
Yeah.
you're.
Yeah, sorry guys. I think
Congratulations, Italian badge for completing the marathon.
yeah, it's funny because Matt prepared the notion for today's episode, and we had a look last night. And I didn't do the marathon, by the way, and I'll explain why. And it just said in all caps, "Congratulations,
Yeah.
Matt!" And I was like, "Damn."
I'm actually disappointed he found out because I would have loved.
That would have been so funny.
When I looked through the Notion last night to make a few like final tweaks, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna leave this because
Yeah.
it's so funny.
No, but yeah, no, I didn't do it, and I feel bad because I had a few DMs last night of people saying, "Oh, I thought I was going to see you. I made a sign and whatever." I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I let you down because I didn't. We filmed all the pods in advance before the marathon and before I made the decision not to do it, so I didn't update you guys to say, "Oh, I wasn't doing it." But yeah, but after the 32K, I spoke about the 32K I ran probably on the last pod or the pod before that, and I got through it, but my knees afterwards were just screwed. It like bad knees runs in my family. My dad's got bad knees. My grandpa's got bad knees from playing rugby. So I thought it's best not cause actual damage, and they're still hurting now. So I've got to do some leg strengthening exercises around my kneecaps, but I'm going to continue training. It's annoying because I completed all the marathon training. I went up to 32K, did the taper, but yeah, just
So what would your time have been roughly with your pace?
just over 4 hours. I don't think I would have got a sub 4, but I was doing well.
So that's
Like, I was
cool,
quick.
but that means that because it's not like you're just stagnating and it's like, oh, I'm ready and now I've got to wait a year. You have a year to
I can get better.
make good
Yeah,
progress.
yeah. If I
You
can,
just got to keep your knees strong.
I'll definitely try and do it next year, and I'll try and go for a sub 4. But honestly,
think-
those guys did so well yesterday because it was so warm, which
Yes,
makes it
my
so
goodness.
much harder.
Yeah.
And Chip, Freezy, Proddy, and Izzy did it as well. They all cooked. They did so well.
Yeah, everyone said that everyone was saying like we went to the runner event after briefly to meet Chip, and he was like everyone who ran it was like significantly slower than their
Yeah.
target pace just because it was so hot, and it probably doesn't even sound that hot because what was it like? It was 20 degrees, right?
20 degrees, yeah. But when you're
Centigrade.
running for over 4 hours, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And the sun was just very hot. Like I was in shorts and a t-shirt and a cap,
yeah,
and I was boiling.
Yeah.
And you guys that were wearing trousers were like, so
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm sorry, guys. I didn't do it. I apologize, but next year I'll do it. I promise. But we went on a journey of our own, just trying to
We did.
basically beat Chip to the finish so we could watch him finish.
Yeah.
We didn't make it.
Yeah.
We caught him in Canada Water,
Yeah, we went to Canada Water.
and then we just couldn't get anywhere from there.
And getting from Canada Water, the queue to get on Canada Water Station was just insane. Like
Yeah.
the station itself is huge, and not only was it full, but there was like a snaking
Oh, it was, yeah.
queue
The biggest
as
queue I've
far
ever
as the
seen.
eye could see.
Yeah.
I think to
Yonder.
West Sussex.
Yeah, it was to West Sussex. But we saw him so we got out of Canada Water. We got there okay. And then we met Sabina there. and we saw Chip, and we were tracking him on the app to see when he was coming down. He was coming past us, and there's a video we'll show you. He just doesn't notice us.
Thing, like,
yeah,
the huge and
until the very last minute, he clocks Sabina, says hello, but Sabina
goes hi.
And he was like, oh yeah, but Sabina had like electrolytes and gels and everything in the bag for him, and he just kept running, and also like Vaseline just so his nipples wouldn't rub, and bro just kept going.
It's
didn't
tough.
block us.
He said because he has obviously like he's got so many fans, it's quite frequent that people are going Chip.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we said Chip, I think he just was like, oh, it's more fans, like a quick hello.
Yeah.
And then it was only when he had just run past us that he glanced, saw that it was Sabina, and went, oh. And obviously Sabina had this like amazing sign that she had made.
So cute.
And we had all like gone through such a, and he felt really bad, but we were like, we don't care. Like we didn't need the like affirmation from him. We just wanted to give him a little boost.
We saw him. Yeah, just wanted to give him a boost. I think he still got that when he realised at the end.
Yeah.
You know, that we were there.
But getting from there.
Yes.
To everywhere else.
Because then we thought, okay, we'll catch him at Canary Wharf. We've got like half an hour till he gets to Canary Wharf. So we'll either
one stop on the Jubilee line.
Exactly. So we went to the tube. There was a massive queue. Then you were like, oh, we could get the ferry. So we line biked to the ferry. But even finding the line bikes and then line biking there was so difficult because all the roads were closed. Like you couldn't just cross a road. And then we got to a ferry and we had to wait for the next ferry because our one was full. And then we got the we couldn't get off at Canary Wharf because then we wouldn't have been able to get anywhere from Canary Wharf. And we'd already missed him at Canary Wharf at that point. So we just went all the way to Westminster. And then we just missed him at the finish line. Like he'd already finished when
literally the boat was pulling in, wasn't it? And we could see him running parallel to us in the tracker.
So we caught him once and then we caught up with him at the end. But we were waiting around the finish because we couldn't get into the finish. We sat on the pavement and there was someone waiting for Arthur across the road. And then we had to wait for the next ferry because we couldn't get. So we caught him with him at the end.
Yeah, so for audio listeners, we're watching a TikTok right now. Caption, met my favorite YouTuber today. And at the finish line, despite the fact that I didn't run, this very generous person had made a sign saying, I love you, Arthur TV on cardboard. And she brought it along.
I love that, just going out hoping that you're going to bump into, so making a whole sign for it.
In the chaos of London, for those who haven't seen London in marathon time, it is chaos. There is just, the streets are flooded. How she managed to find us is beyond me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
crazy, but
very kind of her. Right. Very much appreciated her saying that I'm her favourite YouTuber and that she put in the effort to make the sign.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Does she carry the sign with her every day just in case?
I think that's always in her pocket. That's why.
She said she's going to bring it to our tour, which is Arthur's live music concert tour.
That's right.
Which you guys should come along to. His music is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He really is the talented Arthur. He really is. And we'll be there at one of the shows, but she's going to bring it along. So yeah, that was a nice, that kind of made my day. That was very sweet.
You needed that boost after all the running around we did.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird actually though, because I love that kind of stuff. Like it
felt like we were in a Sidemen video, you know, when you're tracking someone down.
Yeah. And like, because the weather was so nice, we went through the ecological park, which I loved, put it on my story. Walking along the river a lot. It was just really good fun.
I mean, it's better than being sat at home.
Yeah.
So it was very good. And it's nice weather.
Yeah.
Got a little golden tan.
Oh, this was funny.
Oh, Big Ben.
Someone ran it as Big Ben and couldn't get through the finish line because it's like an archway.
Yeah.
So he was just stuck and was stuck there for ages. Probably added 3 hours to his time.
That's poor Big
Ben,
Ben,
I had to disassemble him.
That is crazy seeing people run around in those sorts of things.
Yeah.
It's like I saw the London Eye run past a table as well, which I didn't get. I said that last night. Some guy dressed as a table running it.
Yeah. That's even crazier given how hot it was.
Yeah.
I saw TikToks of people being like, I couldn't finish it, or they collapsed.
Last year, actually, I think it was Lucozade asked if I could run the marathon dressed as a Lucozade bottle. Obviously, I hadn't done no running, so I was like, no, I haven't got any training for that, so I won't do it. But I don't think I could ever manage to run it in a costume.
Oh my goodness, yeah, something like that, like an inflatable chicken outfit. You just would burn to death. You'd boil.
Oh, do you know what would be cool?
Ooh.
I wonder who got the fastest time dressed as something.
That's interesting.
I wonder who came in first and what they were, you know?
Yeah, there should be like a subsection of the marathon. You know what else I found about? Have you heard about the reverse marathon?
Well, you do it back?
Yeah.
No.
So someone...
What, will you throw it back?
Did a TikTok being like, why are people running through the streets of London, it's 2 a.m. and the marathon starts in a few hours. There's something called the London Reverse Marathon, where people start at the end of the marathon in the middle of the night and get to the start line for the start of the marathon to wish everyone good luck. So it's an unofficial thing. But if you looked out your window last night and you can see the marathon path, there you go, at midnight, an unofficial event. And they're running at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. They're running the marathon unofficially in the reverse direction to meet people and wish them luck at this.
Do you know what would be sick?
Isn't that so strange?
And I think, oh my God, that would, if you could do the reverse marathon and then the marathon straight away afterwards.
Oh.
That should be, someone's got to do that.
A double marathon.
Yeah. I could see someone like Johnny Davies doing that. Just some crazy.
Yeah, you're right.
Crazy feat.
Anyway, this actually brings me on, and I've been waiting to make this segue for a while because you keep mentioning knees, on a little evolutionary fact that I love bringing up whenever someone says they have problems with their knees, because you've now had knee problems, Chris has knee problems, Theo's had knee problems. Actually, was it Ian? Didn't he do his MCL or ACL?
I don't know, actually.
He did. Willenese camera dude.
My sister did her ACL and her MCL at the same time.
Really? And your dad and your granddad?
Yeah.
It's because it's not that some people...
And Jabba did his ACL and MCL.
Jabba did his ACL and MCL.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
So there we go. So Jabba, by the way, one of the Proddy gang behind the cameras right now. Oh yeah, Proddy Con is gone.
Oh yeah, he died. Yeah, Matt killed him. So Matt's actually...
No, Jabba the Hutt ate him.
Oh my God, he's absorbing the proddies back
there. Yeah, no, so it's very common
for
humans to have problems with their knees. And it's because we only evolved bipedalism over a very short period of time, in the blink of an eye in terms of evolution. So quadrupedalism took about 50 million years. So from the time when you can sort of see the first of our ancestors 370 million years ago going from water, kind of walking in shallow water on four limbs. That was about 370 million years ago.
Yeah. And
tetrapods, animals walking on all fours, sort of like permanent land-dwelling animals, sort of were around 320 million years ago. So we had a good 50 million years of evolving to walk on all fours. Whereas humans walking upright, the first sort of like ancient humans of our ancestors that were walking upright was about 7 million years ago. So I'm going to see if I can pronounce this right. Sahelanthropus chidensis.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Was it Sahelanthropus chidensis? But yeah, that was 7 million years ago. And interestingly, a part of the reason why we know that they walked upright was because of their foramen magnum.
I know a lot about magnums.
Why is that?
Got one on right now, pal.
Got one on right now? Why do you always wear condoms?
You need to always wear a condom. My doctor said I should. I don't know.
Just in case it slips somewhere.
Oh no, it's because I'm infectious. That's why. Of course, yeah. Of course. How could I forget?
Interesting. Yeah, no, but the foramen magnum is essentially the hole in your skull that connects to your spine.
Oh yeah.
So
in there somewhere.
Down there, yeah. So for us, it's at the base. So you can tell what animals walk upright or on all fours when you look at ancient humans from so many different bones, like from the hip bones, the feet, the knees, obviously the femurs, and the skull is a big part of it. So in humans, it's directly underneath. Whereas if you think about how a chimpanzee walks, their skull, their spine almost like comes out slightly towards the back. So there you can see the difference between a chimpanzee and modern human.
Actually.
And there you go. So you can see this. Sahelanthropus, it's somewhere in between. It's not where a chimpanzee was. It's not where a human one is. It's somewhere in between. And this is just the really cool thing about human evolution, is that you go back to our sort of where we branched off from gorillas and apes and stuff. I think gorillas was about 10 million years ago. Chimps, maybe like 7 million years ago. But obviously we all evolved for different niches. So yeah, that's 7 million years ago. And obviously you see this gradual change. These are only just sort of like, this is the highlight reel. Yeah. But you can see sort of there's a bunch of intermediary fossils in between all of these that show it slowly moving back and all this kind of stuff. But we sort of see, that's the sort of first signs about 7 million years ago. 3 or 4 million years ago is when we have this Australopithecus afarensis, which is when you sort of see the first habitual bipedalism. That's when we sort of go like, these guys were walking on two legs pretty much all the time. And this is where, there you go. You can see them sort of walking upright. Have you heard of the famous Lucy fossil?
No.
It's
No.
yeah. Can we pull up the Lucy fossil?
Lucy fossil.
So she was an Australopithecus. We don't have complete sets of her bones, but we have lots and lots of her species.
Yeah.
The Australopithecus afarensis, which is these bipedal sort of ancient hominins.
Yeah. So they must have had terrible knees.
So yeah, these guys, would have been absolutely appalling. They would have done their MCL and because you're going.
They would have done their MCL.
They would have done their MCL eating breakfast because you're going from these, you having 4 limbs supporting your weight to having 2.
Yeah.
So you've just got you essentially your limbs and your knees and stuff are taking twice the amount of weight. But even now, our ligaments roughly resemble chimpanzees and gorillas and stuff.
Really?
Because we haven't had long enough for us to evolve and have a selection pressure to give us tendons and ligaments and all that. That's actually, as strong as they should be.
Yeah.
For supporting 2. So yeah, what are we looking at here? Hominin skeletons.
I wouldn't mind just having like them going in and making a ideal kneecap.
Yeah.
I just give my knee over.
Well,
to the operation table.
Maybe one day we'll be able to figure out the right code to be able to insert in our genome to give us it. But this is another one. See, these hips, we love talking about childbearing hips.
Yeah.
If you're standing upright as a human, your hip bones need to be almost like a bowl. Because all your organs are sort of dropping straight down, and it almost needs to be like a bowl to support them.
Yeah.
It also needs to be like narrow and shorter, wider and shorter, because that's going to be helping with our balance.
Yeah.
And so that's a big problem with childbirth. Like when when our pelvic bone is sort of like becoming more bowl shaped, the birth canal is getting smaller. And at the same time, our brains are getting bigger because we're evolving to be, the selection pressure is on, working in groups, using tools and stuff. That circle is getting smaller. So childbirth just became so much harder for us as we became bipedal and our brains got bigger at the same time. But yeah, apes like chimpanzees, gorillas, all that kind of stuff, they never get ACL and MCL injuries. It's so rare to see.
Put them on a 5-a-side, they probably will.
Yeah, well, if they had to run upright, but if they're on all 4, yeah.
Childbirth was always going to be tough for us. That's true. That's true. Try pushing. Actually, would you rather push a baby out your penis or not do that?
Not do that, I think.
Weird.
There is the comment, like, would you rather like poo out a watermelon or
piss a
out
walnut?
A grape?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Something similar.
Yeah, and I've already done one of those. No, I'd rather.
He's done the grape one so many times he can suck one back up.
Oh, that's disgusting. So true though. No, I'd rather shit a watermelon for sure. What would you rather do?
Probably the watermelon thing as well. Although that would be that would actually be crazy.
You can train for that. I don't fancy training for the grape one.
No. Either way, both long-term damage. But yeah, at the end of that, we've got Homo erectus, which most of you guys will know, the upright man, the erect man, 2 million years ago. That's pretty much, we're starting to look pretty fully adapted to life on the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just not evolved. Our knees just are not evolved
They won't.
for our weight, and now they almost certainly won't, because you're not getting people who have bad knees dying before they pass on their genes.
I wonder what an evolved knee would even look like.
It would just have much stronger tendons and ligaments. It probably wouldn't look too different.
Would it be more knobbly?
That's a good question. I don't know.
It's all about our cartilage is the worst part of it all, right?
Yeah.
Actually, my dad had recently, they drilled a hole into it and they flushed out stuff that was just swimming around in there because his knees are a mess, and a piece came out like popcorn.
That's awful.
And a piece came out like popcorn.
That's awful.
And a piece came out.
Okay,
like
that's
popcorn.
enough. Was it tasty?
They wouldn't let him keep it. It was weird.
Oh, gross. Yeah. But yeah, really not so fun fact, actually.
That is fun.
But you've evidently evolved well to run on all 4s. You did this at Chris's house the other day.
Yes, I did.
This guy can run on all 4s at lightning speed.
I think
we mentioned this before.
I think I could run the marathon on all 4s.
That's crazy.
Is that legal? Can you do that? Probably.
Yeah.
People are doing it as Big Ben. I could probably do it on all fours. But yeah, I'm pretty quick on it. I think it was just from being a weird child it came about.
It came.
Yeah, it just came about.
Wait, so you do that around the schoolyard?
Well, yeah, how else do you get to the next lesson? What a
Interesting
weird question. No, I would do it though. I was a bit obsessed with like the idea of being a werewolf as a kid. That wasn't really.
Oh.
So I would.
Pack.
Yeah, so it would make me try it, and then once you realise you're good at it, can you give us a howl? No, that's pervy actually. That's really pervy, man. He asked me this off camera earlier. It was really weird. Like, howl for me. But yeah, can you run on all fours?
Not really. Not like you can. You just have tremendous pace with it. You're a bit of a knuckle dragger though. Like you're built a bit like an ape. You've got a hairy back and stuff.
I spoke about the fact I've got quite a lot of Neanderthal DNA in me.
Yes, true.
More than 92% of the people on 23andMe, the genetics thing, which is pretty cool. I think.
More than 92%.
I think that's why I can throw pretty far.
Maybe, yeah.
I throw really far. Yeah.
And you've got the strong brow ridge. Anyway, can we pull up a Neanderthal versus human?
Oh, that explains my cock as well.
Do it proper.
Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, because Neanderthals were sort of like
well hung.
Ancient cousins that we probably drove to extinction.
Yeah.
But we mated with them a fair amount.
Wonder if they drank milk.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you reckon they would have been a lot stronger than us?
I think they were supposedly stronger than us, yeah. I think we were just smarter and they were a bit denser.
They do have a bigger cock.
No, they don't.
Oh, no, they're all balls. No, actually, yeah, they are. I mean, look, we barely got balls on that
they had
side.
short forearms, large shoulder joints, large and wide rib cage, long clavicle, large and thick patelia.
Everything's thick about them, actually, yeah.
Yeah, large ankle joint. Yeah, they're quite stocky, aren't they?
Yeah, they are stocky. Like a pit bull.
But yeah.
Interesting.
We drove them to extinction with our big brains.
Well, we didn't. We weren't there. You can't take credit for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's true. I am getting old, but I'm not Neanderthal.
Oh, no, you're pushing unk status. You actually are. You really are.
But yeah, that's the end of that one. Although, we're going to be revisiting gorillas with a slight dabble on evolution again at the end of the podcast segment when we're going to fight a gorilla.
Oh, shit, yeah.
But for now, everyone spoke about this at the time, and like you said, we've had quite a big gap between filming. So this happened, and by the time this is out, this is somewhat old news. But we'll go for a philosophical take on it. Billionaires in space. Katy Perry obviously just went to space.
She did.
She went to space for 11 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a suborbital journey.
Yeah.
So, I think everyone has this idea that like there's just a line where the atmosphere finishes and space starts.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere just gets slowly thinner and thinner.
Yeah. Oh, and there she is. She just got past the Kármán line. Look at her. She's tiny.
Just past the Kármán line, 100 kilometers up. But yeah, it was an all-female crew. She was one of 6 women. And yeah, they went on this 11-minute suborbital journey. And they ticket prices aren't public. But you need to put down 150 grand deposit. Competitive Virgin Galactic offers travel between 200 and 450 grand.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, how do you feel about
if I'm going
Katy Perry going to space?
I haven't actually looked at any of it because I didn't care that much. But because Katy Perry's like, I like Plastic Bag, Floating Through the Wind, but that's about it. So I didn't look into too much detail. But
that's a banger.
I think it is a banger. I don't know. It feels weird to just pay so much money just to go a little bit higher than do you know what I mean? It's not like you're landing on the moon. It's just
that's true.
Flying for 11 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to quantify how much it achieves.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously one of the big upsides was, the part of the reason that they did it, and her being one of 6 women in this all-female crew, was it will be good for women in STEM, somewhat. Hopefully, let's say one of my little sisters loves Katy Perry. Katy Perry's a big artist with a lot of fans. They might go, oh, Katy Perry went up to space, and maybe they'll have a quick Google on something. Oh, give me a fun space fact. Oh, that's really interesting. Maybe I'd like to study this. And they end up like you with a big old degree in it. And then they put maybe slightly better use to it than we do with our degrees. And they, bring us to Mars or bring us interstellar or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
All because of Katy Perry.
But it's hard. Yeah, I mean, how much of an impact do you think that has on young women?
I don't know, because it really, I guess it probably has it. Yeah, I'm sure it has an impact. If you see like as a child, you see an all-woman crew, go to space. It's hard to put myself in that mindset because I'm a 24-year-old man
who loves STEM already. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. But I mean, it's a nice it's a nice idea to think about, to think that there could be a generation of young women who are partly inspired by Katy Perry going to space.
Yeah.
But there's also obviously the big downside, the climate stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm stuck on, is the fact that it just I don't know, something about billionaires just going to space just because it's like,
it's a bit like, come on now.
It's like,
Yeah. And so Blue Origin themselves say that during the flight, the only byproduct of New Shepard's engine combustion is water vapor. So there's no carbon emissions. But the World Inequality Report sort of like analysed Bezos's flight, which was obviously Blue Origin as well. And they estimated that 50 tons of CO2 have already been emitted before the spacecraft departs from the launch pad.
Yeah.
So a lot of energy does go into it. And it's obviously not great for the environment. And when you're sitting there going like, I think 50 tons of CO2, I don't know why they did this to the poor Frenchman, but they were like, this is as much as the average poor Frenchman gives off in a year, roughly.
Why 50 tons of
CO2? I don't know why it was a poor Frenchman in particular.
Wow. Wait, what? A poor Frenchman does 50 tons of CO2 in his life?
In a year.
In a year?
And I think they said about 1 billion people across the planet won't even produce 50 tons of CO2 in their life.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, there is a lot of CO2 going out there. I mean, but again, a lot of people think that like one of the benefits of space travel is going like, you know, she said something along the lines of like, oh, it makes me grateful for planet Earth, and like she sort of kissed the ground when she got there.
Yeah, I saw people clowning on that.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, we need to take better care of our planet.
Yeah.
And people often say that a big part of why space travel and exploration is so good is because being able to look back down on Earth, there she is kissing the floor, because being able to look down on our Earth and just going like, oh, look at all that beautiful greenery and blue waters.
Yeah.
It does make you go like, damn, that is our home.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one because like I feel like you can get that from a flight as well.
That's probably
true. You can look down and you can actually see.
That's true.
Just as
looking
much
over
on
a
a clear
forest.
day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't think it provides as much value as it like takes away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The cost outweighs, and
just so much money spent for a short flight.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. I've never and all of the like billionaire flights where they just go slightly into like space, I just think it's such a waste of money.
It feels quite out of touch as well, doesn't it?
It just feel like rich activities, like
it does.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people feel like it's quite condescending that they spend so much money, go up for a few minutes, come back down, and are like preaching on how we should take better care of the environment and stuff. And everyone's going like, well, think about the amount of CO2 that's now in the atmosphere. Even the water vapor, to be fair. People are saying that like the water vapor will alter the chemistry of the stratosphere, deplete the ozone layer, and form clouds that affect climate. Like it's you know, even with it just being water vapor, it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, just sort of having these like super rich people doing these kind of like wacky little things and then preaching to us, and it's like, well, there are so many people on Twitter just going like, bruh, I couldn't afford lunch today, and you're preaching to me about like how we need to like protect the earth and take care of it, and it's like you've just done all this, and so people really didn't like it. It does feel really out of touch, and it's I just find it odd that these people must have massive PR firms, and it's like such an obvious thing to like address.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward to just go through the natural thinking and think actually this won't be received well, and doesn't provide much value,
or even just going like let's give a really generous estimate of how much CO2 is going into this entire operation start to finish, and go, let's offset that. You know, I'll buy carbon credits and like, you know, invest. I'll pay for this many. Like if you're as rich as these people are, you go, okay, if you're going to spend, you know, 200 grand, 300 grand on a flight out to space, it's like, we'd maybe drop 50 grand planting enough trees so that all the CO2 is gone. And then people care a bit less, and then go like, oh, actually, you know, and we'll do a fundraiser and I'll donate, you know, I'll match a bunch of people's thing, or like, oh, whilst doing this, I'm going to put 100 grand into sponsoring women in STEM or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, this feels like such obvious, like bare minimum things that they could have thought of, where people go, even if they're just doing it for the sake of like placating people and like, oh, it's a bit of a PR stunt. who cares? There are
Yeah.
a bunch of trees planted and a bunch more women in STEM. Do you know what I mean?
I just feel like, space travel has to be, like, something like that has to be used for science. Like, there's no point going up and dipping yourself in space and coming back down. It's just there's so much negative impact of that compared to positive impact. Like, it shouldn't be like a recreational thing. It should be, if you're going to space, it's for the benefit of humankind rather than just because you want to go up there.
Yep.
He could have gone about it better.
Oh, and she sang "What a Wonderful World" as they came down. It's like that in that pandemic where all those like famous people started singing. Was it John Lennon Imagine or something? And everyone's like, "Bruh, you guys are in these like 20-bedroom mansions with like the biggest gardens and swimming pools and like."
You took a private jet to your living room. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Exactly. Oh god. Yeah. So it's it actually reminded me slightly of do you remember when I brought up my first ever YouTube video and it was like some guy dunking on someone who criticized SpaceX going into space, and someone was like, "What the hell is the point?"
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, you know what? Let's just have a rejig on all the benefits of space travel." So you want to run through some of them?
Sure. Benefits of space travel. We're talking long-term survival of humanity.
Yeah,
Earth ain't gonna be around forever.
that's one of the big things we talk about a lot, isn't it? Just going like, at the moment, if an asteroid hits Earth or zombies take over, we're cooked.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're on a bunch of planets and one planet gets wiped out, we're all good.
We're okay. Don't you think it's a strange thing that we have any like? It's weird to me that, because I think humans as a whole are pretty like selfish creatures.
Yeah.
It's strange to see that people care so much about future generations of humanity
Yeah.
as opposed to just living in the present. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of pressure on like, oh, we need to find another planet for the state of humanity, but we're not going to be around to reap the rewards of that. You know what I mean? Like, we're putting in work for people that we're not going to enjoy ourselves.
Kind of true, yeah.
It's kind of a strange thing to think about, considering how selfish people are, you know?
Yeah, it reminds me of that famous
Weird.
saying that like a society grows great when a man plants a tree, which is shadow. I don't know how to say that in a nice, in an intelligent way.
Yeah.
But you know, like whose shadow he'll never sit under or enjoy or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like a nice sign that there are people out there going like,
Yeah.
you know, let's save humanity, and they do care. But then again, we always say that we think we might live forever.
That's true.
So maybe we will enjoy it, and maybe we will be around to enjoy other planets.
Yeah. I don't know how much I'd want to live on another planet, though,
Yeah.
to be honest.
It would have to be just as pretty, I think, with beaches and seas and stuff.
Oh, you love beaches.
I do.
Oh, I need an ocean to fuck.
No,
That's right.
what the
As long
hell?
as we can get a
You
surfboard.
can't say that after the surfboard
No,
story.
as long
No.
as we can get a surfboard on that planet and the waves are strong.
Oh my God. And the
I'll be
waves are strong. Miller's Planet.
Oh,
with those giant
shit.
waves.
Oh my God.
Blow me
We'd
into
be
the next
dragging you
dimension.
into the thing like, Arthur, come on, we need to go. And you're there like, no. No, the wave's coming.
Oh God.
Yeah, we better keep you here, I think.
That is crazy.
Just safer that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one benefit.
Oh yeah.
You can fuck other oceans. And then, of course, technological innovation.
Yeah, GPS. You need the satellites for that.
Mm-hmm.
Weather forecasting.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and then I saw this as well.
Hey, what's that?
Apparently memory foam and scratch resistant lenses were partly born out of space programs.
Oh, wow.
So they have a lot of like
Didn't know that.
NASA, obviously they had a bigger budget than they have now. It keeps shrinking sadly.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of space tech that they develop that will help with their missions, help the crew in outer space, and it ends up having useful applicability down here on Earth. And yeah, memory foam and scratch resistant lenses are part of that.
Interesting.
But
Do you sleep?
I bet there's loads.
Do you sleep on memory foam?
No, you do, don't you? You have a mattress
No.
topper.
Oh, I've got a mattress top, but it's duck feather.
Oh, that's very fancy.
Just like that, the flex.
Yeah, very big flex.
Thank you for allowing me to say that. Do you use any scratch resistant lenses?
A skiing goggles scratch resistant.
Yeah.
Oh, Apple watches.
That's not an Apple Watch.
Scratch resistant. Oh, that's scratch. Never mind.
Oh, that's scratch.
Oh, never mind. I should never have tried that one.
Well, anyway.
Scratch resistant Apple Watch screen.
Yes.
It's not a lens.
Yeah.
Glasses.
That's true. I've bashed the shit out of this and it's not one scratched.
Yeah.
That's very good. Compared to my last one,
That
it
wrist has
scratched a
seen
lot.
crazy things.
Oh, it has seen crazy things. It's been inside crazy things. It's done
Okay,
crazy
moving
things.
swiftly on with
Anyway,
economic growth.
Yes, of course.
You've got the space industries, employment, jobs, women in STEM, men in STEM, non-binary people in STEM, dogs in STEM, chimpanzees in STEM. Because we sent those. We send dogs to outer space.
Oh, there's a dog in STEM, all right.
Oh, there sure is.
Mm-hmm.
International collaboration I really like. And it's something that we've spoken about as well, which we don't do enough of. Like, why do all these countries need to have completely different space programs? Let's all join hands.
International collaboration.
Yeah.
And everyone should speak the same language. Drake and Central C should make a song together. Everything should be one, homogenized. You know?
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking. We get rid of all countries and we're just one Earth.
Yeah, no borders.
No borders.
Maybe.
Right at the border.
Or everyone gets insane borders. Everyone gets big walls and they only let their family and friends in whenever they want. Because that's what I want, especially given I'm scared of aliens and zombies. I want a big fortified house.
Anyway,
and I won't let your kind in anywhere near it.
We're gonna
little three-eyed alien freak.
He's doing that again. Okay, come on, leave him out of this. He's even put sunglasses on to hide his eyes because you keep mentioning them.
I wonder if audio listeners briefly thought I was just being racist to some guy who just walked in.
Three-eyed freak.
Just some ethnic minority walked in. Yeah, you won't be allowed in my house. It was, oh God, where's this going?
He's doing it again.
No, it's again. Me to the Rastafarian alien with his...
Oh no. We got two of them up there, yeah.
Yeah, we sure do.
And environmental, I'm going to move on before you get racist, right? Environmental awareness and monitoring. That's right.
That's what we were talking about earlier, looking at Earth. But environmental monitoring is really important for us to go like, you know, pictures of forests. That's some advanced science right there.
We can take pictures of forests, Nat Geo Wild.
No, like monitoring the weather and forests and climate and all that kind of stuff. And,
that's right.
And seas and weather patterns, all that crap.
Yeah, all that crap as
well. It's good for the environment.
Yep, and of course, inspiration for STEM, like we mentioned.
Yeah.
If space tourism became the next global phenomenon, would you do it?
This is the tough thing because I think we're sitting here slandering them for being out of touch. But if Blue Origin turn around tomorrow and go, Bach and Arthur, we can actually take you to space.
I'd only do it if I had if you'd have to make it like you do it for charity and stuff. Like you wouldn't just go up, I feel like. Okay,
so if they said we'll take you to space, but we're not donating anything, like, you know, you can do everything.
Stream it. Everything from the stream goes to charity.
Yeah, or a vlog where it goes like the vlog and all of this goes to Team Trees or whatever.
Yeah.
Could do. But I'm saying yes, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. I might just.
I would love to go to outer space.
I think next time I go to Greece, I just knock the pilot out and go a bit higher. Take everyone to space with me. How about that?
Fascinating. If it becomes cheap or accessible to us, and especially if we can have some sort of way of offsetting the downsides.
Honestly, I'd rather just go to the moon. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
That is space tourism.
Yeah, I'd rather just go to the moon.
Would you actually? Would that be your number one? Going to the moon? Rather than, for example, ISS orbiting. Yeah,
I'd rather go to the moon, yeah.
God, the moon's so far away. Although it'd be so fun. Bouncing around on low gravity would just be
it's a nice trip. What else are we going to do with all this time?
That's true.
Yeah.
I'd go ISS over the moon, I think.
Would you?
And Mars is too ugly for me. I don't like the red planet. It's dusty.
Mars is not ugly.
I think Mars is ugly.
It's better looking than the moon is.
I don't think so.
It is warmer. I thought you liked warm environments.
That's true.
Look at it.
I think you're more of a red enjoyer than I am. I don't really like the colour red that much.
Warm
other than Manchester United.
A comprehensive victory.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love red. Do you not like red?
No. Oh, you know who sees red?
Gorillas.
Gorillas. Well picked up on the segue.
Thank you.
So I saw this tweet by this guy called Dream Chasing Mike on Twitter. This banged. And he put, I think 100 men could beat one gorilla. Everybody just has to be dedicated to it. And the internet is divided bigly.
Bigly? The hell is bigly?
So I thought I'd put a little side-by-side table in.
Okay.
So gorillas coming in at 440 pounds or 200 kilograms.
Mm-hmm.
Humans coming in at 180 pounds or 80 kilograms.
Yeah.
These are just averages. There were ranges. And I was like, if I add the full ranges, so I don't even know if they're direct.
Okay. All right.
Calculations, but I mean, they were both roughly within the range. Height, gorillas, only 5.5 to 6 foot. So they ain't that tall.
Yeah, they ain't that tall.
Compared with humans who are 5.7 to 6 foot.
Yeah.
No, some gorillas are short kings. Matt's, but I'm not sure. I'm gorilla sized.
Yeah.
Matt, for reference, is 5'2", by the way.
Yes, and looks exactly like a gorilla.
Yeah, he does.
He actually
also
does.
very hairy.
Yeah, he's very hairy.
Strength.
And
This
horny.
is the big one. Gorillas can lift 900 kilograms, whereas humans, it's about 100 kilograms. It varies a lot.
Yeah.
I can lift like 300.
Yeah, and I
a
could do about
squat.
500. So that's interesting. Bite power. Damn.
Power.
They got 1300 psi. We got 160 psi.
Yeah, that's pound per square inch.
That's
so that's
piss-sized
a big.
institute.
So
Because they've got their chewing muscles up here still. We don't.
yeah.
We lost them.
So what is it you think about this? So I asked
Oh,
you.
wouldn't you like to
were
know?
itching to answer.
I think 100 guys kill a gorilla.
I do too.
Yeah. But you've got to pick the right guys, and they've got to have a plan.
So that's what that's one of the things the tweet said was they've got to be dedicated to the cause.
And it's got to be all at once.
You've got to realize that the first bunch of people are just getting wrecked.
Yes, exactly.
Like if you watch a video of a gorilla fighting another gorilla, they just launch their body weight and just are scrapping with their fists.
Yeah.
And it's really scary. And like 10, 20 people at least are getting
Oh, yeah.
dying,
Just
getting
brutally murdered. Just
I mean,
brutally.
I don't know how you even start off because I think it just charges you and it's just going bang, bang, like swiping
Just
people out the
smacking
way.
you down and smacking you down. But the more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm thinking we're all getting fucked up.
I just think 100 is such big numbers. Like if you picture 100 men in a room,
It is, but if you could, I think if you think of the equivalent, you put you against, let's say, 100 badgers. You're going to kill all the badgers.
I think when you think 100, if they all just swarm you.
I actually don't know now. I was very sure on 100 people, but the more I'm thinking about how you can't knock it out, you can't punch it to death, you can't strangle it.
That's one of the big things people are saying. Like, what's
how
the
do we
damage
kill
humans are
it?
doing? But 100 men, you just pile on it,
Yeah, but then what?
and then I don't know, rip
Then
it to
what?
shreds.
I think you'd have to dry hump it. 100
I
of
look
you.
at that. I mean, look at the absolute
It's
beast
built.
there.
But isn't it? There's some kind of wasp or something, or ant or something that will just. I think it's wasps. They'll get on top of a hornet and just vibrate.
Oh yeah,
And cook it to death.
yeah. That's what we could do.
That's why I'm thinking. Get on and dry. Everyone's dry
Just dry
humping
humping it.
and just make a hot molten core.
I mean, another thing is in
Where's just
why is bro standing like that?
not a gorilla. Is
Your
it?
knees are not evolved for that, big
Bro,
man.
that ain't real. You ain't fooling me.
You have not got the bowl.
That's AI.
You've not got the bowl-shaped pelvis. Get back down on all fours.
What do you think you're doing? Yeah, I'm starting to think it's just not. Like 100 people is it's hard to get through, and I think you'll be struggling by the end. Just out of
It will be
exhaustion.
exhausted.
Maybe it's exhaustion.
Because also another thing is humans evolved for endurance. Oh yeah, can we see what 100
we
people
did,
look
but
like?
I don't know what.
That's not 100 person, is it?
Yeah, that is 100 people. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's 100.
It is.
That's gorillas tearing through them, especially them.
A gorilla's
No
tearing through a
offense to
lot.
them, but they don't stand a chance
No,
against
they
gorilla. They really don't.
Who that?
Sorry if you were in that photo,
Like a
but
5
you're
foot
dead.
lady in her 60s. Like
Yeah.
she's getting flung to Tanzania.
I see a lot of sweaters in that pic. They're all dying.
No, I think humans have it just on.
Do you?
If everyone's committed to the cause and just going in at the same time, but I
just
think there
don't
are just
think
insane
that-
casualties.
If you try and, but what do you think kills the gorilla in the end? Like, what do you think kills it?
Well, lots of things. I mean, multiple blows to the head. You could.
I don't think we
Shred
can
its-
blow its head out. We could blow its back out for sure, but I don't know about it. I don't know if you could. Can we ask ChatGPT, Matt, and see what he thinks? Or she?
Yeah.
Whatever you set the voice to.
Because, yeah, I mean,
wonder-
I think if it's 100 men, all with like strategy, all committed to the cause, they have it. I think 100 randomers, no.
100. Yeah, so you've, okay.
The short answer, 100 people absolutely could defeat one gorilla, but it depends.
Organisation, tools, and willingness.
So no tools, I think a big, one of the really annoying ones on Twitter that like really irritated me was loads of people were going like, oh my God, like
gun.
we dominated mammoths and
Right, yeah.
we dominated the savannah. And it's like, well, we did that with tools. We
Like
had spears
yeah.
and a group.
Can you say no tools allowed
Yeah.
and see if it'll? Because I really just don't know how we would. Even if you've got
Just barehanded.
distracted.
Basic reality. The gorilla would destroy the first wave,
Badly as well.
but
it says.
it's still flesh and blood,
Oh,
not a
badly.
mythical creature. 100 body swarming, it would eventually overcome it through mass.
Do you think?
The first 20 people would rush and distract. So there's a
Sacrifice wave.
ChatGPT thinks there's a sacrifice wave.
Wow. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? The first 20 are a sacrifice wave.
Yeah, and then you've got swarming tactics piling up, and then things like choking it out, cutting off its oxygen.
Wow.
Just exhaustion. I think that's the main thing.
But but the thing is, I find difficult is we're thinking 100 bodies, but when you're only really like 3 can be attacking at once, and 3 at once is not going to kill it. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't have 100 people smacking it in the head at once. There's not enough room.
No, I know, but
You'd only really have 3 people right there. I just don't think you get close.
You get more than 3.
It's going crazy.
7 or 8 is going crazy.
And also,
the sacrifice wave is probably bigger than 10 to 20. I think.
And also, we're so weak that even a slight hit in the face could knock one of us out. Or if it bites one of us, realistically, you're like so
you're cooked,
overwhelmed with pain that you can't carry on. Whereas if you get any kind of damage on it, I think it just carries on. Whereas we don't.
Yeah, I do think
so. It doesn't
right.
even have to kill a person. It just has to injure them slightly, and we'll give up.
That's not far off what ChatGPT is saying. No tools, 100 people win, but at terrible cost.
And half of us are just tearing our ACL, like just running around.
100 people humping the gorilla would absolutely work.
I knew it. Absolutely work.
If by humping you mean clinging onto it with full body contact,
course,
that's what I was saying. That's not what we meant, but
that's actually a really effective tactic.
No, but that's interesting. Let us know what you guys think at home.
That's brilliant. Energy drain. I will be draining more than just energy from that gorilla.
That's another thing we have on gorillas. Our dicks are way bigger. I think.
Speak for
is
yourself.
This right? I think gorillas have the smallest penises of all apes.
Pound for pound.
They're like an inch and a half.
We could just.
Whereas ours are like 8.
We could just make it really depressed, just to keep laughing at its penis, and then eventually it's like.
That's the other thing. The gorillas also have to be in fight mode because 100 men just yelling at it would scare it off.
Yeah.
Yes, gorillas have the smallest penis size relative to their body of all great apes. By far, they did not need to do that. The gorilla penis is 1.5 inches, so I was right.
Well, that's
and humans. What's ours like 8?
What's our average? Like 15 or something?
3 inches is average. Oh, that's huge. Though orangutan 2 inches. But yeah, gorillas, they do not have big dongs.
I just didn't even think orangutan had penises. They're such weird creatures.
They are quite weird.
Yeah. That's correct. I still, do you know what? I'm gonna double down and say the gorilla kills all the humans.
Oh, okay.
I've changed my mind.
Oh, interesting. Actually, just whilst we're on the ChatGPT, people are asking us to discuss sort of like ChatGPT energy uses, pros and cons. Because obviously we're all very pro environment, but ChatGPT uses a lot of energy. Training a language model does. So that's coming up. Stay tuned, because I bet loads of people will be commenting about it again, being like, "Oh, where do they stand on the whole?" We've spoken about environment. We've used ChatGPT,
but we're using it for good.
It's coming up.
If we hump the fuck out of it, would that kill it?
Yeah, that's beneficial. That's worth the 900 trees that have just burned down for it. But yeah, obviously the big thing between humans and gorillas is we parted ways 10 million years ago. The climate was changing. The savannah was shrinking.
There's unfinished business.
The jungle was shrinking.
So they just pissed off with us anyway.
Yeah.
We got Fortnite and they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, gorillas don't have Fortnite. Oh my God.
That's true.
100 Fortnite players. Anyway.
They'd win.
But yeah, everyone always goes like, oh, it's a very common question. And I've seen it on the podcast thing of like, why did we continue to evolve and monkeys didn't? And it's
not the same.
It's not the same. Our ancestors with gorillas 10 million years ago were very different to both humans and gorillas. And we used the fact that we were smart and used tools and evolved big brains and big socializing, big old knobs.
We've learned, yeah.
And they evolved for physical dominance. The second you start going, oh, actually in this group, the big strong ones beating everyone else up and having sex with all the fair maidens. They were not fair maidens. They're probably hairy. Hairy as hell. Actually.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
No, but gorilla hairy.
Oh, I love that shit.
Fair enough. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Body positivity. Hairiness. You're a hairy.
That's why I've never shaved ever.
Anyway.
Any part of me. Anyway, that's disgusting.
Yeah, no, just really interesting. So we evolved to be smart and social. And so we started walking upright, and there's other cool advantages to walking upright. Go do your own research on this one because I don't want to drag it on too long. But yeah, gorillas ended up selecting for the big, muscular, broad ones.
Yeah.
And whether they could take 100 men, who knows?
Stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned to find out. But yeah, that wraps up an episode.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think gorilla or human wins that fight?
Imagine the gorilla just gives everyone an MCL and ACL injury right off the rip. Knows our weaknesses.
Just goes straight for that.
And he's like, you can
flex
them. He's just flexing his strong knees on us.
Oh no.
That's what we're talking about. They haven't got stronger knees, they just use all fours. Anyway, I digress. We're going on too long.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Take care of your knees.
Mm-hmm.
Run marathons.
Yes. Subscribe, like, comment, rate us 5 stars. And we're going to go and mukbang now.
Oh, and check out the Patreon. Patreon.com/Bach and Arthur.
Yeah.
It's very cool and epic.
Well, yeah, we're good. With the mukbang is for the Patreon, and then it will be up on the YouTube way later.
Way later.
So if you want to see us mukbang each other, just join the Patreon right now.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.